This is how I removed more than 4 layers of paint and wood stain from my fireplace mantle. The wooden frame around the fireplace just felt too heavy and bulky for me. Plus the mirror was already damaged and I couldn't figure out how to replace it without making it worse. Who finna break an 100-year-old mirror? Not me. 2024 has been crazy enough as it is. They just told us that they found our ancestors or aliens underneath the ocean, and I'm not trying to accidentally open any more portals to the other side, especially not in my living room. Once the frame was gone, I noticed some of the original wood color was underneath, and I thought maybe I could turn this black fireplace into something like this. I went to Home Depot and picked up a bottle of CitriStrip and applied it to the fireplace mantle using a $2 paintbrush. Don't be stingy. You want to put on a really thick coat so that it can get through all the layers of paint. One thing I like about CitriStrip is that it doesn't have a strong chemical smell. If anything, it kind of reminds me of like a citrus scented dishwashing liquid. The directions say you can leave it on for up to 24 hours, so after I finished with the first coat, I wrapped it up with a plastic drop cloth and went to bed. When I came back to remove the plastic, all the black paint was gone. I came back with a metal putty knife to scrape off as much of the white paint as I could. It was really soft and gummy, so it was pretty easy to do this, but it did make a mess. I made sure to get CitriStrip in every nook and cranny with the paintbrush. Now I'm going back with the edge of the scraper to get all the paint out. It was starting to look a little rough. Underneath the 2 layers of paint was a really dark red, almost mahogany colored stain. I didn't know if the paint stripper would work at this point, but what's the worst that can happen? It literally can't get any uglier. I applied another layer of CitriStrip and then wrapped it back up with the drop cloth. Are you seeing what I'm seeing? I can't believe it turned out so pretty. This was exactly what I wanted. Now I do still need to do some touch-ups. I need to sand it down a little bit. Then I can go back over it with another stain, or I can keep it the original color and just seal it. I got the rest of the trim on top of the fireplace removed. Somehow the mirror fell and disappeared in the space between the fireplace and the wall, but at least it didn't break, so a win is a win. I was really happy to see that there was just plain wall behind this fireplace frame, so all it needed was a light patching before I could move on to the next step. I don't know what kind of wood they was using when they built this fireplace, but 100 years later it's still strong and it's still heavy. I was cleaning up one day and put this tile on top of the fireplace mantle, and then I noticed how good it looks, so I had the bright idea to go buy a whole box of these tiles in order to put it in this space. I worked really hard to find a pattern that I liked. This one reminded me of the beach. I loved how it turned out, but after a few months, I realized I had a problem. I couldn't think of any way to finish it off that would actually look good. If I put a piece of trim here, the wall would feel too divided and broken up. It would be too hard to match the details on the existing trim for me to continue the tile all the way up the wall. I had to just remove the whole thing. After I patched this big ass hole in the wall and painted, this is how the fireplace turned out.